It starts quietly. No drama, no alarm bells. Just a small hesitation between what you know is true and what you decide to believe instead. You say you'll start tomorrow. You tell yourself it wasn't that important. You convince yourself that the opportunity just wasn't meant for you. And somewhere deep down, a quieter voice says, you know that's not true. That's the moment the adult mind begins to lie to itself. And today, we're going to look at why it does that, how self-deception becomes a comfort, and how that comfort turns into an addiction called self-sabotage. Because this isn't about weakness, it's about survival. You see, the human mind has a strange talent. It can know and not know at the same time. Philosopher Kent Back called this the paradox of self-deception, the ability to believe something while secretly knowing it's false. It sounds impossible, but you do it every day. You say you're fine when you're falling apart. You say you don't care when you care too much. You say you're just tired when you're actually empty. The lie doesn't come from ignorance. It comes from fear. Your mind edits the truth the way a filmmaker cuts a scene, not to destroy the story, but to make it bearable. And that's the first hit of the drug.
Self-deception works like an anesthetic. The moment it enters, pain softens, clarity blurs, and suddenly the unbearable becomes manageable. It's intoxicating. You don't have to face the breakup, the failure, the guilt. You just have to rename it. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's timing. Maybe I didn't really want it. Each phrase is a small dose of relief, and your nervous system learns that lying to yourself feels safer than telling the truth. But relief has a half-life. Soon, you need a bigger dose, another excuse, another rationalization, another cycle. That's when self-deception turns into self-sabotage. Because once your mind learns that lying reduces pain, it starts lying to protect you from growth, too. You're about to take a risk, so it whispers, you're not ready. You're close to intimacy, so it says, you'll get hurt. You're almost succeeding, so it convinces you you'll ruin it anyway. The lie becomes a shield, and the shield becomes a prison. You stop trusting your own potential. You mistake fear for intuition. And every time you pull back from something good, you call it logic. Let's be honest, you already know this pattern. You felt it. The small hesitation before you send the email, the sudden exhaustion when things start going well, the voice that says, it's better if I don't try. That voice isn't laziness, it's self-protection disguised as reason. Here's where it gets darker. Self-sabotage doesn't just stop you from winning, it rewards you for losing. Each time you avoid a risk, you feel momentary relief, and that relief becomes the reinforcement loop your brain craves. That's why it feels almost addictive, because neurologically, it is. Avoidance releases the same dopamine spike as a quick escape. You feel safe, controlled, temporarily okay. But just like any addiction, the comfort turns corrosive. You start craving predictability over possibility. You trade truth for control. And soon you're not running from failure anymore. You're running from reality. Let's talk about what that looks like in real life. You stay in the wrong relationship because you're scared of being alone. You procrastinate on projects that could change your life. You replay the same argument in your head until you start believing you are right to quit. You turn every opportunity into proof that you're not that type of person. You might even convince yourself that self-sabotage is just part of who you are, but it's not identity. It's conditioning, a strategy you built to avoid the pain of disappointment. When you were younger, failure wasn't safe. Maybe you were punished for mistakes. Maybe you learned that attention only came through crisis. So your adult brain still follows the same rule. Better to control the fall than risk the free fall. That's why you choose the failure before it chooses you, because chosen pain feels less like pain and more like power. Here's the truth you keep missing. Self-sabotage isn't proof that you hate yourself. It's proof that you fear yourself. Because somewhere deep down, you know your potential is dangerous. It would change things. It would demand honesty. It would dismantle every illusion you built to survive. And your mind isn't sure you're ready for that. So it keeps you in the loop, a dance between desire and denial, a push and pull that feels like chaos, but underneath, it's just your system trying to stay safe. Let's pause here. Yes, this sounds heavy, but this is where we break the fourth wall for a second. I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty. I'm telling you this so you can finally see the pattern instead of running by it. Because once you can name the lie, you weaken it. So let's name it together. When you say, "I'll do it later," the truth is, "I'm scared it won't be good enough." When you say, "I don't care," the truth is, "I care too much." When you say, "I can't," the truth is, "I won't let myself." Every time you bring the hidden belief into light, you reclaim a piece of control. That's how self-deception starts to lose its grip.
Now let's look at how to break the addiction. Number 1, witness yourself. Not judge, not fix, just observe. Catch the exact moment your mind starts negotiating against your own well-being. Listen to the sentence that follows every goal. "I'll do it tomorrow. I don't deserve this. It's not the right time." That's the moment to pause. That's the mind offering you the drug again. Step 2, replace relief with reality. When you feel that urge to escape, breathe instead of act. Let the discomfort stay for 10 seconds longer than usual. That's how you retrain your nervous system to tolerate truth. Step 3, rewrite the story. Not with fake positivity, but with accountability. Ask yourself, if this lie wasn't available, what would I have to face? And whatever answer comes up, that's where healing begins. Bach said that self-deception requires compartmentalization. One part of the mind hides truth from another. But healing begins when those parts start to communicate again. So talk to yourself like two people reuniting after years apart. The one who lied and the one who believed. Ask them both what they were trying to protect. You'll realize neither was evil. Both were scared. Both just wanted to survive. That's the paradox. The mind that deceived you was also trying to save you. And that's what makes this addiction so difficult to quit. Because letting go of self-sabotage means grieving the comfort it gave you. It means losing the illusion of control. It means admitting that peace feels unfamiliar. But unfamiliar isn't dangerous. It's just new. And new is how you grow. When you start telling yourself the truth, even small truths, you might shake, you might cry, you might feel like you're falling apart. But that's not collapse. That's integration. The divided self finally becoming whole. So here's your reminder. You can't heal what you keep lying about. You can't build a future with the same voice that keeps tearing it down. The adult mind that lies to itself isn't broken. It's brilliant. It found a way to keep you alive when honesty felt fatal. But now, survival isn't enough. Now, you owe yourself truth. Not the brutal kind that shames, but the gentle kind that frees. Because every time you stop sabotaging what's good, every time you face what's real, you break the addiction. Not by force, by awareness. You don't have to fight your mind. You just have to listen until it tells the truth. And when it finally does, you'll realize the same thing that every healed self-sabotager eventually learns. You were never afraid of failure. You were afraid of peace. But peace is what comes after honesty. And honesty is the only high that never wears off. If this video spoke to you, if at any point you saw yourself in these words, then take a breath and share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and turn on the notifications. It really helps this content reach more people, and it allows us to keep growing together with awareness and truth.